The annual African Zulu parade in New Orleans is one of the most vibrant and colorful events of Mardi Gras. With its elaborate costumes, booming music, and high-energy performances, it draws thousands of spectators every year. It's a celebration that's deeply woven into the cultural fabric of the city, a tradition that has lasted for generations. But behind the glitter and excitement lies a more complicated truth, a cultural disconnect that many people don't even realize exists. This disconnect has caused real pain for the Zulu people of South Africa, whose name and culture are being used in ways that feel inaccurate and even disrespectful. While the parade may appear to honor African heritage, many Zulu people see it as a caricature, a version of their culture that's been filtered through misunderstanding and stereotypes. This isn't just about costumes or music, it's about the importance of cultural accuracy and the responsibility that comes with representing someone else's heritage. The main issue is that the parade's portrayal of Zulu culture often bears little resemblance to the real thing, reducing a rich living tradition to a theatrical performance. It's not just about the visuals, it's about the meaning behind them, the stories, the history, the values that are lost in translation. And when those meanings are ignored or distorted, it can feel like a mockery rather than a tribute. It turns a proud and complex identity into something cartoonish, something that doesn't reflect the dignity of the people it claims to represent. And that kind of misrepresentation isn't just inaccurate, it's deeply hurtful. It erases the voices of the people whose culture is being used. The Zulu people deserve more than that. They deserve to have their heritage portrayed with care, with truth, and with respect. But let's be clear, this isn't about shutting down the parade or canceling a beloved tradition. What the Zulu people are asking for is simple: understanding, respect, and a willingness to listen. This isn't about blame, it's about learning. It's about recognizing that good intentions aren't always enough. It's about opening up a dialogue, one where both sides can share, listen, and grow. Because when we truly listen to each other, we can create celebrations that are not only joyful, but also meaningful and inclusive. That takes effort, it takes humility, and most of all, it takes a commitment to honoring the cultures we celebrate. Through honest conversations and a shared desire to do better, we can bridge the gap between intention and impact. And in doing so, we can build a future where cultural celebration is not just colorful, but also conscious, respectful, and real. To really understand this misrepresentation, we need to understand real Zulu culture. Not just what's seen in movies or textbooks, but the lived experiences of the people. The Zulu people are the largest ethnic group in South Africa, with a rich history and vibrant traditions that span centuries. Their identity is deeply rooted in language, clothing, and customs, each one full of meaning and passed down through generations. Zulu men traditionally wear the amabeshu, aprons made from animal hide, often decorated with detailed beadwork that reflects personal and tribal identity. There's also the umkele, a fur headband that shows a man's status and earns respect. It's not just an accessory, it's a symbol of leadership and honor. Leopard skin is very special. It symbolizes royalty and power, worn by leaders and warriors during sacred ceremonies and important gatherings. These aren't just clothes. They have deep cultural and spiritual meaning, often tied to rites of passage and ancestral reverence. Zulu women have their own distinct clothing too, each piece reflecting age, marital status, and social role. The imvunulo is a ceremonial garment that symbolizes womanhood, worn with pride during important events like weddings and coming-of-age rituals. The beadwork and patterns on their clothing tell stories, coded messages of love, grief, celebration, and lineage. Stories of family history and heritage woven into every stitch and color choice. Every piece has a purpose, a message. Then there's the language, isiZulu, spoken by millions. It's more than just words. It's a vessel of identity, a way to pass down wisdom and worldview. It's a living history, full of stories and cultural expression, sung and spoken with pride. Their dances and songs aren't just performances, they're rituals of remembrance and celebration. They're another way to tell stories, to honor ancestors and to teach the young. They preserve history, share wisdom, and connect generations in a rhythm that transcends time. To understand Zulu culture, we need to look deeper, beyond the surface, into the soul of a people. We need to appreciate the meaning behind their traditions and the stories they continue to tell through every thread, word, and movement. The New Orleans parade, even with good intentions, often misses the mark when it comes to cultural representation. It is very different from authentic Zulu culture, which is rooted in centuries of tradition, ceremony, and deep spiritual meaning. The costumes, often made of exaggerated grass skirts, plastic beads, and face paint, are not just inaccurate, they're caricatures. Traditional Zulu attire is intricate, symbolic, and varies by region, age, and occasion. What's worn in ceremonies carries deep meaning. Reducing that to a costume for entertainment makes a rich, complex culture seem like a cartoon and spreads harmful stereotypes. The term Zulu war paint is especially troubling. It's a phrase invented for dramatic effect, not cultural accuracy. It doesn't exist in Zulu culture. It's completely made up. Zulu people don't use face paint in the way it's portrayed here. Using terms like that shows a lack of research and cultural sensitivity, and it misleads the public about what the culture truly is. Especially when the goal is to honor the culture, accuracy and respect should be the foundation. Even more troubling is that the parade often looks more like an old-fashioned minstrel show than anything authentically Zulu. The exaggerated features and comedic tone are not just outdated, they're offensive. They remind us of a painful history when African cultures were mocked for entertainment, not celebrated for their depth and beauty. Even if unintentional, it's still upsetting. Harm doesn't require intent, it only requires impact. And the impact here is clear. It keeps harmful stereotypes alive and circulating in public spaces. So, this isn't just about wrong costumes or made-up terms. It's about misrepresentation on a large scale. It's about a deeper problem, a lack of understanding and cultural awareness that leads to distortion. The parade might be meant as a celebration, a joyful expression of community and tradition, but right now, it does more harm than good. It confuses celebration with imitation, and in doing so, it diminishes the richness, dignity, and complexity of Zulu culture, a culture that deserves to be seen, heard, and respected on its own terms. The New Orleans African Zulu Parade has a complex history, one of both celebration and exclusion. It started in 1909 when Black Americans were kept out of white Mardi Gras events. They created their own celebration, a form of resistance and self-expression during segregation. The Zulu Social Aid and Pleasure Club, the parade's founders, were inspired by a musical comedy act. But that act showed a romanticized and inaccurate version of Zulu culture. It was theatrical and maybe entertaining, but it wasn't real Zulu life or tradition. Over time, the parade became a cherished tradition in New Orleans' Black community, a symbol of resilience and pride. But the theatrical roots, the caricature of Zulu culture, remain. And that's what's led to the misrepresentations we see today. It's important to understand the parade's history. It gave Black Americans a way to celebrate when they were excluded. But we also have to recognize that its origins in a fictional portrayal of Zulu culture have caused ongoing misunderstandings. And that's what we need to address, together. It's really something how Zulu culture is often shown in the media. It's often reduced to cliches or exotic stereotypes instead of being shown as the rich living tradition it is. Our dances, our language, our ceremonies, they carry generations of wisdom, resilience, and pride. But when these are taken out of context or used just for entertainment, it takes away their meaning. This misrepresentation doesn't just hurt our image, it affects how young Zulu people see themselves. They might start to believe those shallow portrayals are all we are. But we are so much more. It's time to change the story. It's time to tell our own stories, in our own voices, with the full depth and beauty they deserve. Too often, traditional beliefs are dismissed as outdated or irrelevant, but that's a misunderstanding that comes from a lack of real engagement. When we take the time to truly listen, we begin to see the wisdom in these practices. It's not about going backwards, it's about moving forward with a deeper understanding of who we are. We've seen how African traditions are sidelined, even mocked, in academic and public spaces. It's tiring. The assumption that Western perspectives are somehow better is not just wrong, it's harmful. This kind of disrespect is familiar. But that doesn't mean we should accept it. We need to stop changing our culture to make it easier for others to accept. Why should we hide our truth? Authenticity isn't just about pride, it's about survival. When we speak honestly, based on our own ways of knowing, that's when real connection and understanding can happen. Growth starts with listening. Not just hearing words, but truly understanding them, thinking, questioning, and learning. Traditional knowledge isn't stuck in the past, it changes, just like we do. So, let's keep talking. Let's honor the past, engage with the present, and build a future that respects all ways of knowing.
Thanks for watching, and please remember to like, subscribe, and share this video to stay updated with the latest breaking news from DesBuzz 24.